YouTube, it's ECP, and we got a bee video for you. You heard it. We're going to give the bees some more feed. We are going to give them some more sugar water, a little bit stronger than 1-to-1 because the bees are hungry. We're still in the dearth. They're getting a little bit light. And we're going to feed them also some pollen patties with that sugar water. I got each of them a half a pollen patty already made up. And this is a good way to substitute them during the dearth. Gives them something to eat, gives them some protein. So we get a little bit of pollen patties and a little bit of sugar water here and syrup for the bees. So stay tuned. I'll let Mrs. ECP do some filming from the truck. Stay tuned. Okay, we're just starting to get into the first hive. This is my large hive. It's got the carnies or the carnelian honeybees I got from my local mentor. It's double deep, 8-frame hives. These are the Hoover hives. You'll see the link in the description for Hoover hives if you're interested. You can also get a discount there, 10% off using ECP 2020 if you want these beautiful Hoover hives. They're gorgeous, very well made by Galena Farms up there in central Ohio. So first thing we're doing is just looking. I see some bees up there on the top, inner cover, and just smoke them a little bit there, see if they'll might want to fly away. Let them know I'm coming. I'm going to crack the inner cover and give them a little puff of smoke here. If you look behind me, you'll see the wing stem, which is a golden ironweed type of goldenrod. Hopefully be blooming here pretty soon. So you can see some of the bees on the top, and you can see some bees on the bottom. I want to show it off to you there on the inner cover. If you see that line around the outside, that's the propolis, where they glue the and seal down the lid. That's why you have to always pry it up with the hive tool. So I'm smoking them a little bit off the top, make them go down so we can take a look at them. I'm going to walk over here and get a pollen patty for them and get a gallon of little stronger than 1-to-1 sugar water or syrup. Basically, this is still in the dearth. I'm probably overfeeding as a beginner. Doing a hive inspection later on the next day, I think I've got them pretty well good to get through the dearth and then some. So I'm going to check out the hives a little bit more, but I think we're good to go. No more feeding required by ECP. The bees are plenty healthy. They're like my cows, fat and sassy. That they got more than enough, and might even have to spin out some of the nectar or the honey for the bees so that I can have them put back in the honeycomb, the native honey. So I'm just checking one of the top deeps, seeing what's at. The top super there is good. The bottom super there below is not so full. But we're going to fill up the rest of this way with the sugar water, and I'll probably be moving on to the next hive. But that's my carnies. That's my strongest hive out of the 4 that I have. I have the one at the house, the swarm hive. This is, I call it hive number 4. And we'll button this one up here and move on to hive number 3. Kind of do them in reverse order. I always sling that down by the back of the truck here so I can pick it up when I'm done. But very gentle bees. These carnies are probably the calmest bees I've got out of the bunch. Got them from my local mentor. Very happy with them. Man, they like to grow. I'll definitely be splitting them this spring. Now we're moving on to hive number 3, or the second hive. This is a package hive I got from Kelly Bees, which is owned by Man Lake. Ordered it from Kelly Bees, but they shipped it from Man Lake. I'm going to check the weight on it here. Do the 2-finger test there that Mike Berry told me to do, and my local mentor. See the weight. Weight's pretty good. I'm going to give my wife the thumbs up. Like you said, I'm probably fed them more than enough. Probably need to watch them. I have to, like you said, spin a few frames out to let them, for this fall bloom, fill the honeycomb back in. But just trying to make sure they're ready for winter time, to say the least. And but I don't want to get them to honey bound, so that's I'm probably going to have to spin off some hives. I know the 3rd hive I checked today, the bicolor Amish hive there you see on my left, your right. I noticed that the 2nd deep on it was just pretty much filled up with nectar and honey. So I've kind of overfed them, but I'm going to check the rest of them this week, see where they're at, and if I need to spin some frames out. I've already spoke with my local mentor. He said, bring them over, we'll spin them out, and you can put it in a freezer or fridge and freezer and save it and feed it back to the bees later on if you need to this winter or this fall. So we're feeding them here again. Be the last time I'd say until late fall to see whether we need to feed them anymore. I think they're good to go. ECP's trying to just do much, and sometimes you're trying to do too much. You know how that goes. All my farm animals, the bees included, I'm always feeding them well, to say the least. Bar no expenses, right? So they're looking good. Putting the inner cover back on this one. Again, this is another one of those Hoover hives. I do love these things. True dovetails. These are dipped in wax. These are great boxes. Guys and gals, I'll tell you, if you're going to look at ordering some Hoover hives, definitely go to the link in the description that we have, and also look at that code and use that link, and that'll give you 10% off, and use that code. Then we're going to check on this second one. This hive is from Busy Bees and More, with the exception of the middle yellow box or poplar box. My son made that for me. Made me a deep box one day when I was over his house, so I added that on when I needed a second deep. But Busy Bees and More are also owned by Galena Farms. Beautiful, wonderful hives. These are the Amish-made hives. And we're going to give these a little drink. This is a very strong, this is my other package. This is the strongest package of the two that I got from Man Lake / Kelly Bees. Beautiful Italian bees, man, they're really doing well. This feeder I'm filling up right now, I had a problem with it. There was actually a hole in one of the ladders that the bees go up and down to get a drink, and they actually were going inside of the feeder and then couldn't get back out. And I found out today, I'd noticed a little odor there, and so didn't have time to check, but I went back the next day and checked it out and found out that that had a defective feeder from Man Lake. So I want to contact them, at least let them know they had a defective ladder, that where it was sealed together at the bottom, perforation opened up, and the bees got down there. I lost quite a few bees. There was about 2 inches of bees on the bottom of that hive, on the bottom of that feeder in the hive. So these are inner feeders. I'm checking one of the frames. It looks like they're just barely starting to build up. You can see there on the back of beside my hand, a little bit of wax there just in the start. But these foundations, they hadn't started building wax up on there, and I was feeding them really to build up those foundations, but found out what they basically did is they started filling up the deep brood. Whenever the bees hatched off, they started putting in more nectar instead of leaving that open. So probably gonna have to spin some of those frames off too. That, or see how much brood I got down below, and if I got plenty, maybe leave them that whole deep box for the winter time. That'll be good to go. But thanks for your time. I appreciate you all. Take care. ECP.